In a previous video, I would have spoken about how to build a outlier model using Excel and using Power Query, Excel's ETL tool, to build an outlier model to detect significant items which fall outside the norm or what we normally expect. So using the Power BI technique, and this actually only came out last week, they came up with a new hybrid technique where they use algorithms using spectral residual and applied convolutional neural network algorithms to, to develop an outlier model. So let's see how it would work. We're going to look at the same data set we used before for the Excel example. So we're going to go from Power BI desktop. We're going to get the data. The data we had was in Excel, so we're going to go to Excel. And we're going to go to that folder where we had the outlier data. So that would probably be the store sales data file. I'm going to open that. And the data is in a table. If we click here, this is the data preview of the data we have to work with. So we're going to take this data set here. We're going to click transform data. Let's see how it comes across into Power BI. The data looks good, right? So we have the appropriate headers at the top. It's picking up the dates in this column called month. We have revenue, we have the store name. So we're going to click close and apply here. And we're going to create a chart with the data. Right now, with what they launch, it actually anomaly detection could only be done right now with line chart visuals. So we're going to create a line chart. We're going to click from in the visual, in the report section in Power BI, we're going to click on the visualization, which is a line chart. We're going to select this one here. We're going to drag it out so we could fill up the screen. And in terms of the visual, we need to pick up the revenue as the data value, so pick it. And month would be the actual date, so we're going to pick month. We're not interested in the data hierarchy they have here. We actually would be interested in the individual dates. So I'm just going to change the display here to just pick up the month instead of the hierarchy, which has daily dates. So this is what we're more interested in. So here we have a line chart with sales data over a particular period. All right. And what we're interested in is in looking at the anomalies or in the outliers in the data set in sales. So to do that, we now go to this analytics menu here. And we're going to go to the find anomalies section. So like I said, this is new. From this section, we're going to click add. And it will immediately generate a chart with the expected maximum and minimum values in the range. And we automatically here seen two outliers. So we have outlier in terms of revenue on July 31st. The expected value would have been 150,000. It actually was 168,000 on that day. And it also shows you the expected max and min values in the little box next to the chart. So this is an outlier, and we have another outlier here where we see the balloon on these dates. Now, if we want to drill down further in terms of the outlier analysis, we could actually include a slicer here to slice by probably store name. There's no capability right now with the existing anomaly detection to slice from the actual visual. So what we need to do is put a slicer in with the store name. So how we do that, we're going to click on the slicer button in visuals here. And do that, you should have clicked outside the chart and then click on the slicer visual here. Close this up and we're going to add in a list of the stores here. So we're going to click on the store name. So this will be the stores that we have here. So from here now, we could actually dive into the data by looking at it by store, looking at the exceptions we have. So if we click Arima, we could see there's an exception at the top here, and also there is one at the top here as well, where the actual revenue is way beyond what we actually expected. We go to Shabonas, we have some significant outliers here, and also over here. If we double click on the outlier value, we could get some additional explanations. If I double click on the outlier value here, we would get this anomaly report here generated, and basically the report will state what the exception is here, right? So basically the exception arising in the store Shavonas where the value is unexpectedly high, so they have it here, 60,000 versus the expected value, which should lie somewhere between 3,300 and 6,200. So there is some limited explanation at the anomaly with the outlier analysis within Power BI. We also have within the visual the ability to widen and narrow the sensitivity of the outlier analysis. So there is this sensitivity range. So we'll see that here in the analytics menu, find anomaly section. And here we could actually increase or reduce the level of sensitivity. So if we reduce the confidence interval range, the max min value range, what it would do is that once you click apply here, it would broaden the range within which our outlier would typically lie. So we still have this outlier here. If we narrow the range and click apply, you see we now have two outliers, one here and one here. You could also drop in explain by if we had additional fields here like advertising, or we might have had advertising spend, or we may have had some other field that we could drop in here which would provide explanations for the data. Then we could do that as well. So there is that possibility as well within the Power BI model. So we could click on the slicers and look at the different regions and then understand where the outliers are.